everybody, welcome back to day 2 of the Seattle Indies Expo. I'm your host, Meg Cayley. Alchemist Joker's on a little bit of a break. We'll see him again later, but I'm very excited to be joined by someone who has a username that is a statement that I say often in my life, the very wonderful Mac and Cheese, please. Thank you so much for joining us. It's good to see you again this year.
Yes, good to be back. I absolutely love Seattle Indies. I love talking to devs. I love learning about indie games, and I'm excited to see what we have coming up.
Yes, and now we are moving on to Otteretto. We've got Richter's going to be joining us as well to check out this game, and we have the dev Chris here to show us the game and show us what it's all about. Thank you so much for being here. Can you tell us just what's the one sentence pitch? What is your game all about?
Yeah, so Otteretto is a kind of block matching puzzle game, kind of in the vein of Bejeweled or like Puzzle League, but with a new mechanic that you probably haven't seen before, based on the concept of palindromes. So things that are the same forwards and backwards.
Cool. I am super excited to see some gameplay, but before we do that, we're going to watch a quick trailer for the game so everybody can see what it's all about. Right. That is such a fun game to watch. Like, even just watching the trailer, I'm like doing it in my brain, like, oh, you could do one there, you could do and I feel like in general, this just looks like a game you could really sink a ton of time into. So to kick things off, I want to ask you, when designing the game, what elements did you incorporate to give it that, you know, I want to keep playing kind of factor?
Let's see. I think a lot of it was the sound design, which I put quite a lot of time into. Trying to make like the little bloops and popping sounds nice and satisfying. And then just giving it kind of a good difficulty curve that makes it easy to like get a little bit further each time you play it.
I
definitely
don't even know what's going on. Can you explain a little bit about the mechanics and how the matching works? At first I thought it was a color thing, but then it wasn't. And my brain does not compute.
No, yeah, that's fine. I can explain. So what you want to do is you want to find sequences of blocks that are touching that make a palindrome. So a sequence that's the same forwards and backwards. So for example, there's one like red, green, red. That's a palindrome, and that's valid. Or a longer one like blue, red, yellow, red, blue. That's worth more points. That's pretty good.
Okay.
But what also counts as a palindrome is just a single block. It technically counts. Sure. And that's really useful because that lets you set up much bigger ones. Like if you pop that one and that one and that one and that one, you could make like that with how you've set it up.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't get that at first, but I think understanding the word palindrome, I mean, I knew what it meant, of course, but for everyone who didn't know what it meant, you know. Very cool.
Yeah, it's kind of something that you need to explain a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen a game that really uses palindromes before for their sequences.
I hadn't either, and so it was kind of my responsibility to make it.
Sure. Something that I have to notice, and I'm wondering, is this an accessibility feature where you have the shapes to match the colors that they are?
Yeah, that was put in to help with anyone with color blindness. There's an option if you want it to just be plain or other things.
Oh, nice.
But this is the default.
I love that.
I love that thing. Yeah, definitely thinking of others to be able to play your game. That's awesome.
Now, I know
are there any
palindromes are.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, it's always hard because you know we got the little right. So I know palindromes are obviously a huge part of the game. The name is even a palindrome, which you got to do that. But I'm curious, why otters? Why did you name it Otteretto? Why are otters involved? I'm very curious.
Oh, okay. So when the game was just starting out, it was pretty abstract and didn't really have a theme to speak of. So then I played around with different visual styles, and it turned out that kind of an underwater style I thought really suit the game well. So then my wife and I actually spent a long time coming up with palindromes that have like an underwater or sea animal theme to them. And so then from that list, Otteretto was one that was pretty catchy.
It's
And
such a
otters
good
are
name.
just-
It sounds like a kind of
It
spaghetti,
is.
and otters are amazing.
It's so good.
So how does the game know what blocks to put in? Because I see that after you do a stack, sometimes other ones will roll up into it. How does it know what colors to put in?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's mostly random, but it does have a cap on how many of a single color can come in at once.
Okay.
Because actually having too much of one color is a bit of a disadvantage. So the way that the scoring works is that because it would be really easy to just do like green, 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 that's not worth as many points as doing like blue, purple, blue. The more you can get the colors to change up and be more complicated, the more points you'll get.
Oh.
And I'm noticing a timer in the bottom left corner. Do you have a certain amount of time to match as many as you can?
Oh, I don't think that's from my screen. I think that's from the thing I'm using to stream it.
Gotcha.
That's not in the
Okay,
game.
I was like, oh my gosh, is there a timer involved as well? Because that makes it exponentially harder to have to think on your feet.
Oh no, you have as much time as you need.
And for a
with a
lot of
game like
people,
this-
even from
Oh no, please.
oh, I was gonna say for a lot of people, and even for me, I love water sounds. Just like going out camping and sitting or camping next to a river and just listening to that, it's so soothing. And being able to hear that in the game and do a puzzle is amazing.
Thanks. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's kind
how
of
did
the
you come up with
relaxed
the sound
vibe I was
design?
going for. What was that?
How did you come up with the sound design for the game?
It was mostly just playing with some synths in FL Studio and just experimenting until I find something that sounds good. Combined with some nice royalty-free sound effects from the internet.
Of course, right?
Those are always the best. So I see that it's a 4 grid wide. Does it get wider than this, or?
No, actually, I wanted it to only be 4 wide to keep the information overhead down to a minimum, because when it starts getting really wide and taking up more of the screen, it can be really overwhelming to have that many blocks.
Sure.
And this also helps it work on phones as well.
True.
So with a game that like uses was the words palindrome, is that the right word? And we've all haven't seen a game that uses that concept before. What challenges did you face when coming up with concept ideas and really trying to use the patterns?
I think that probably the most challenging thing was making the scoring system kind of reward you for being skillful in how you put them together, because again, like I said, just a single square or just a sequence of the same color, that counts as a palindrome. But when I was able to add the extra points for mixing up the colors, that's kind of the key to the whole game.
It looks so fun and addicting. like you could just play for hours.
So I see that when blocks go up to the top, you lose those blocks. Do you get negative points for that, or is it just a visual effect?
Yeah, mostly just a visual. So it refills to just give you enough blocks to work with on the next level. You see that each level has a score goal you have to reach. And so when it refills, it tries to give you enough that you can get to the next score goal. And sometimes that means pushing some out the top. But if some go out the top, you can pop those for a couple of extra points.
Okay.
This game is definitely super cool and unique, and I'm really curious to learn about, how you got into making it and how you conceptualized it from the beginning. What kind of inspired the idea?
Yeah, the idea came from a physical card game that I was trying to design. This was back in late 2019. One of the cards in the game gave you a bonus if you were able to arrange the cards in your hand into a palindrome. And that idea actually didn't make it into the final game. It was too confusing for people. But I kept thinking about that idea of using palindromes as a game mechanic. And so this is kind of the result of making a whole game based around that.
So what I'm hearing is the concept started in late 2019. So you built this in a year?
Yeah, so this is not my full-time job. So
Wow.
yeah, this has been kind of in development since then, kind of steadily polishing it more and more.
That's really, really impressive. Some people, when it's like a side gig or something for fun, it could take them years and years to get to a product that they really feel confident with. And so I'm just really impressed that you've done this in just a short amount of time, for sure.
Thanks.
So how has the Six community helped you with this game?
It's been really cool. So I am pretty new to the Seattle area, so the Six community was great to see what other developers are here and what they're working on, and being able to get feedback and share progress with them has been a lot of fun.
Well, welcome to Seattle. It's a fun place.
Have any of the Six members helped troubleshoot or like kind of problem solve some issues that or bugs that you had run into?
I'm trying to think. I don't think specifically, no. But I have gotten some very kind feedback on it.
We do have a question from chat, and they're wondering, will there be a competitive multiplayer mode?
Oh, there is a mode kind of like that. So this
Oh.
coming in the full game is the daily stack. So this is kind of a daily challenge kind of mode where you only get these blocks to work with, and it's a new set of blocks every day, and you're just trying to maximize the points you can get with these. So you only get this one level, and then your score gets submitted to a online leaderboard for that day, and you can compete with other players to see who can optimize this level the best.
Whoa. Okay.
I like that.
Is it possible to, I guess if the blocks are random, but are the competitive levels, are there like specific patterns chosen to where if you figure it out, you could hypothetically do all the blocks in one sequence and maximize points?
No, it's not something that it tries to do. I think you would kind of go mad looking for that if you knew that it was there.
Sure.
But usually there's a way to get a pretty impressive palindrome that's like 20 blocks or longer out of a daily level.
20 blocks? I'm
That's
impressed.
a lot.
Oh my goodness.
So would you be able to go catty corner at some point, or is it only up, down, left, right?
Yeah, it's only up, down, left, right.
Is
So you
there
talked a little
any
bit
other
about-
feat-
Sorry.
No, please.
You can go first. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, are there any features or any game modes that you're looking to add in the future?
Yeah, so I should say that the classic mode I was playing before, this one, this is available online for free right now. You can visit the game website, otteretto.app, and you can play this in your browser. That's how the game was when I first released it back in the spring. And since then, I have been adding these new game modes for the full version, which is going to be on Steam and itch, and eventually on mobile app stores.
Very cool.
Can you tell us a little
Yeah,
bit more about the different game modes that are there? I'm super curious to learn about them.
Yeah, let me show you some. Let's see, this one is probably my favorite mode in the game now. This is called Containment Mode, and in this one, running out of squares is not going to be a problem. In fact, having too many squares is the problem. So every time you make a move, more squares come up from the bottom. But if they reach the top, you lose.
Oh.
So there I'm in danger of losing. So I need to make something in this column like that.
I didn't even see that. That is
Yeah, neither
that's
did I.
amazing.
So it's pretty challenging to keep things under control.
For
Ooh, I
this
can make
being
that.
on mobile, I could definitely sink a lot of hours into this.
Oh yeah.
Right. Like it's a great pull it up and play it when you're like in a waiting room or just want something to do.
On a train,
Yeah, 'cause-
traveling for a commute.
Yeah.
Because my partner likes to do word puzzles before she goes to bed, and I like to just do puzzles. So this will be something great.
So I have to
Thanks.
ask.
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
Have you started to think a little differently ever since you made and been playing this game a lot? I can see how this can like almost like change the way you see everyday objects almost.
Oh, like a Tetris effect kind of thing.
Sure, yeah.
I'd say probably it has. Yes. The kind of thing where it's just the pattern recognition of like, oh, that'd be a good one. Yeah, it's a palindrome. And just seeing that whenever you have some square tiles.
I love that. We do actually have a question from Alchemist Joker. They were wondering, are there any plans to create player created levels or any showcasing any noteworthy runs?
Oh, I'm not sure about that. No, I don't really have any plans for that right now. Mostly just the online high scores will be the main like community feature of it.
Sure.
But that's a solid idea.
I was like, gonna write that down. Oh my gosh, just seeing how long that, like in my mind, I'm like, okay, there's 3 right there, there's 4, but oh my gosh, like seeing the really long ones, I couldn't do it so quickly. It's very
Since
impressive.
we're running tight for time, would you be able to show us one of the other? Would you be able to show us one of the other game modes? I'm really curious.
Yeah, there's one more that's very different. Oh wait, I have to lose first, or I could just.
I was about to say saving. Oh, cool! It saves the game. Oh, go
yeah, it actually saves the game after every move you make. Okay, this is an interesting mode. This is puzzle mode. So in this mode, it gives you some blocks, and you have to figure out how you can turn all of them into a single palindrome. So this is an easy puzzle. This one can just be like that.
Oh,
That's cool. That's really neat.
That is cool.
So then this one would be more like that.
Oh, I was actually thinking a different way of doing that one.
Yeah, some
is
of them
there
will have
only
like
one way to
multiple
solve
solutions.
these, or you can do it multiple ways?
Sometimes it'll happen to have multiple ways to do it. Usually when like the other 2 ends are close to each other, there can be some wiggle room. But let me show you a slightly harder puzzle, and this is where things get a little more difficult. So you can kind of think of this while you work on putting it together.
Oh.
Oh, nice.
So we know that that's going to be one of the ends because that's not touching anything else. So we know it's going to start with like purple, 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 red. So we know that like that's going to be part of it over there. And oh, this is okay. Going to be tough to figure out actually. Maybe something like this. Probably, yeah. I think that's going to work.
In yellow, blue.
And those meet in the middle. And we get this nice
works.
long one like that.
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
Wow.
Yes.
That was fantastic. What a way to
That
end
really
it with a bang.
was.
I love it. Thank you so much for taking some time to show us your game. I am 100% going to play this all the time, and I am super excited to check it out for myself. And it was great getting to hear a little bit about what it was like creating it. But for everybody who wants to check it out, you know, outside of our stream today, where can they do that?
Yeah, so you can visit the game website at otteretto.app, and that's where you can find links to the store page for Steam and itch.io, and also where you can play classic mode in your browser. And that'll also have a link to the Discord server if you want to come and talk about the game.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, you know, I've been talking all day about these campaigns and our awesome sponsors. I want to give Rick and Mac a chance to do it, or just Mac. That's fine too. Mac.
Talk about all the awesome sponsors that have been making this show possible. Thank you guys so much. We have Let me scroll and find it. I'm sorry. So
That's okay.
thanks,
While
a
you're doing
huge
that, I'll
thank
talk
you.
about the campaigns if you want.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
Okay. So we've got 2 campaigns going on for Seattle Indies Expo. One of them is on Steam and the other one's on Tiltify. You can find those links down below in the chat and under the video player. And you can always find more info at 6.seattleindies.com.